Good afternoon, today 283. Late filming today because I've been busy holding stuff, getting stuff organised. Guys have been drilling out here today. Sorry about the wind, by the way. That's all been drilled around. Rebar's been cut down. It was an absolute mess there where they couldn't actually polish it properly because of the drain hole. So we've taken all the way around in the meantime, and then we're going to decide whether we're going to actually get rid of the manhole itself or whether we're going to leave it as it is and just replaster all the way around it. The main thing obviously at the moment is the roof. Obviously they're working quite hard up there trying to get the rebar done. They've got until Sunday to get it done because we are pouring Monday. In here's had nothing done because the painter is actually working with me over in the house, doing lots of stuff in there. So nothing's really going to be taking place here. Whilst I'm on, obviously, please help me like and subscribe. Subscribers are going up again, which is good. More people are getting to hear it. I had a lovely young lady come past me today, who is the wife of one of the individuals on here, without going into names. She nipped past and said hello, and they've been building on the island, and I had a pretty awful experience from what she was saying. So I definitely think it's worth us trying to get as many people connected on here as possible, because there's people that are looking to build, are currently building, and have built, obviously. So to try and learn the experiences that everyone's received, good and bad, it's definitely a benefit, that's for sure. So from my point of view, I think the more people we can try and get communicating, certainly that are looking to build, and there's certainly going to be less people affected. Everyone I've heard so far that's built on the island has had some form of negative experience that's cost them either time or money or both, and that's not fair. So from my point of view, if we can try and help anybody that wants to build on this island avoid those two issues, then that's a win-win as far as I'm aware. If that's the one thing that can come out of documenting this journey, I'd be a very happy person. But anyway, nice to see you today, by the way. Andy. So anyway, obviously you guys have seen the rebar on the outside. You can see that the guys do know what they're doing. These guys I've used throughout the whole project anyway. They're good as gold. The only downside is sometimes time frames and commitments to getting things completed haven't been met, which means we've had to delay. And if you delay concrete here, it's not a case of saying, let's do it tomorrow. To organise a pump, to organise the concrete that is booked in, you can't just move it. And if you move it, it lands up being moved. You might remember when we did the roof, we had to move it by a couple of days. It landed up being 2 weeks in the end. So as a result of that, the formwork, the steel, everything has to stay out in the conditions for a long period of time. You have to spend more money on rush treatment, and the ply starts blowing, and it's a pain in the backside. So you really have to make sure that you get the timings right, and you're relying on tradespeople to get things done correctly. So anyway, today obviously really is the same as yesterday and the day before. Really, it's obviously focusing on getting this done. Obviously there's the plastered wall in there, the block work's been done here, the plaster's been done. We've had confirmation that the garage door is 6 metres. The confirmation is, unfortunately, it will be approximately 2 to 3 weeks. Bear in mind it was ordered in September, October. I'm still waiting for some form of technical drawing to tell me where it's mounted. Is it mounted on the inside of the opening? Is it mounted on the opening inside of the opening? As in, is it on the mouth of the opening, or is it on the inside behind? You don't know. So at the moment, trying to build a wall that's going to accommodate something that we have no visual on and no technical spec on is very bloody difficult. Tyson has got concrete in his hand, so I'm assuming that he's up there filling block holes. Decided to box up underneath. Let me show. We decided to box up and pour down, and then deal with the actual drain itself afterwards. So, as you all know, I've been looking at solutions. Again, sorry about the wind, trying to get out. As you can see, we've been looking at solutions today, and it just doesn't work. So, a few of you have recommended the Acco drain, which we already ordered. We had ordered the Acco drain, but here they only do a 5-inch version. So they do a low profile version, so I've ordered that today, which is one of the reasons why I've been late getting on the film. So we've gone with a 55mm Acco drain, which means that we'll be able to bring the level up and potentially connect into here and run it along here as well. The issue with here is that we don't actually have the depth because of the services that are going through the actual concrete and all the steel. We can't go down too deep. So if we can use a 3-inch Acco drain, then we might be able to leave it as it is and go down maybe a inch or two and actually get the run we need. So anyway, there's going to be Acco drain going all the way along here now. So these bits we've drilled out, they'll be filled. The Acco drain will be, the concrete will be laid in the base, and the Acco drain will be laid on top, and the fall will already be pre-made. And then you'll concrete down either side of it to make sure it stays stable, and obviously then the car goes over it. They do two types. They do one which is normally called an A15 and one that's an A125. The A125 is for heavy traffic, and the other one is designed for pedestrian traffic, so you have to get the right one. And it's 5 to 7 pounds a length to 15 pounds a length. So they're quite cheap in England, but obviously they treble in price to the one that needs the pressure. So anyway, that's pretty much where we are so far. I'm not too sure what's going on here. Tyson's trying to do like a big splat on the floor. What are you trying to do? Ruin my concrete? Can't get the staff. So what are you going to do? Let it dry before you deal with it, or are you going to do it now? Anyways, they call, by the way, they call a wheelbarrow a pan cart. So if you ever hear anybody saying pan cart, that's what it is, a wheelbarrow. They call it a pan cart. So I'm not too sure what they call it a pan cart. It's a pan on a car, I suppose. I don't know. But anyway, and again, bloody expensive. That pan cart there for Vulcan, 500 Beijing for a freaking wheelbarrow. Oh, Jesus. Everything is so expensive that's essential here. So rather than me getting two, I managed to get one. So I got one brand new one and all the others are falling apart. What normally happens with the wheelbarrows, by the way, they put the wheelbarrow underneath the cement mixer and then they tip it and pour the concrete. So as the weight goes in, it bends the legs. So eventually what happens is all of the legs on the wheelbarrows all fold in because they don't keep the wheelbarrow straight. And the only reason why you have to tip it is because they let the concrete build up and eventually get too high, so they have to tip it over to get the concrete to go in. So, word of advice, make sure they maintain the floor in around the cement mixer, and they don't have to then tip the cement mixer, which means they don't break the cement mixer. Anyway, other than that, there's not a great deal more I can report in. We're still waiting for the jacks. That reminds me, I need to make a phone call on the jack. She did return my call yesterday. Got to put a call in straight away on that. Damn, forgot. So yeah, we need the jacks to do the wood. Once the wood's in, we're finished. But we do have, I did say to you yesterday, we have a little bit of a bulge here. We need to talk to them about that, because it looks like that's been jacked up too high, so that's going to come down slightly. Other than that, that's where we are. It's just roof at the moment. It's 20 to 2. There's still plenty of work to be done. But at the moment, it's just about focusing on doing the rebar. When I get time, I'll get upstairs. I'll give you a quick film on where they are and what they've done so far. And fingers crossed, we get bloody done by Sunday, that's for sure. But anyway, I'll report, like and subscribe, give me some comments. Thanks. Okay, so we're 4:35. Everyone's just shot off. Listen, can't see any change underneath here. That is left out. Like I said, not a great deal done inside the annex today because obviously stuff was going on inside. Let's get up on the roof. Oh, Russ, say it. Up on the roof. High rib everywhere. Good job they're not paying for it. Cans of Monster in there, so hopefully that meant they were working harder and faster today. Concrete everywhere. Okay, so one thing they did do is the column itself. That's been poured. Okay, so that's all been poured, and now we're looking a little bit more like this. Let's get up. Right. Okay, so we're set out. As you can see, some new rods. It's my new 70 rods. That's what they should look like. Silver, not rusty. So they're obviously going to land up taking off here later on. This has got to be tied into as well, so you can see where we actually dug into the wall and you can see the actual bars going up. These have all got to be tied in all the way along. How they're going to do that, I'm not too sure. It has to be done. The front beam, that's all been done as well. Hello, you little minx. How How are you? I'll be there in a minute. Let me. I'm filming. Let me come and see you in a minute. Let me come and see you in a minute. All right, Minx. So here they've obviously cut those back because there was just not enough room in front of the pipes, and as you can see, they've now run new pipes along, and they've bent them around. As you can see down there. We need to obviously get all of the actual bars in, so we can actually set the drains in here as well before we pour. And Mel, the electrician, he's been along and done a few bits here, look. So he's got to get the conduit now and run the conduits in. So light. And then there's lights in the back here as well. So we've got quite a few lights. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 lights there. Plus there was some, there's over here, remember, yeah, there's another 3 here. So need to make sure they're all in line, which I'm sure they are. Knowing Mel, because he's quite anal with stuff like that, which is good. That's a breather for the sink downstairs. So again, once the concrete's been done, that will have a breather put on top, protector, as they all should, which they don't really do, by the way, which we need to start looking at. This is one perfect example. That's one from one of the bathrooms, and it stinks. So I've got the covers to go on here, I don't want to put them on yet until we've actually done the pour, because believe it or not, concrete goes everywhere. So we need to make sure that we get this done first, and I can install those. I'm going to get a breather cover put on that, then we get breather covers put on here. So yeah, what they're going to be doing is, I thought they would have got a little bit more done up here today, but in all fairness, they've been working obviously on the beams as well. So all of these are going to end up being tied in all the way along, and then there's going to be grids going this way, like here. So this is where they've been working. Obviously they've been working on the front. So this is pretty much what it would look like. And then obviously it will be smocked. As you can see, these 3-inch smocks here. Again, for those who don't know how smocks work, they make them manually. They pull up the cables, they go underneath a corner, and then the cable itself ties around here to make sure it doesn't move. So when the concrete's forced on, this doesn't move. This is trying to keep the steel off of the wood by a certain height. So as far as where they're actually going to be doing 2 to 2.5 inch smocks up here, off the floor, to make sure we've got a good 3 to 3.5 inch cover above. The above cover is where the issue is. So anyway, that's where we are up here for the roof. All beams are pretty much done. I showed you downstairs obviously what the beam looks like on this side. Obviously around here they've bent that round, look. So I would have thought they would tie that as well, rather than just bending it over. They'll tie that on the corners to make sure that's all in. And eventually when the bars come across here, they'll obviously bend them over here and tie them into here as well. Same on here, same on here, same on here, same all the way along. As you can see, they're doing it down here as well. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are. Only so long you can look at rebar before we get bored. Quite nice using the word rebar again after all this time. Not. So anyway, let me get down and I'll show you what we're doing downstairs. Okay, so the latest to date issue that I've come across is I've nipped along to Fiberpole today to order the manhole covers. So before I start, I actually haven't got it, it's indoors. I've got a list of 14 sizes that I've been working with the site manager. Every single one of the manholes is a different size for some unknown reason. And each manhole has got a different size on the size. So where it would normally be 29 by 30, it's 29 3/4 one bit, 29 and 5/8 another bit, then it's 30.25, and then it's also 30.58. It's just like... So they're not used to doing manholes here. They normally make manholes here out of concrete. That's one of the most common ways of doing a manhole, but every manhole is a different size. So this one here is meant to be 600 by 600. It's not, but you could probably get away with a 600 by 600 in there. But in ideal world, if you buy a 600 by 600 manhole, it's meant to be put in before you cast the concrete, because the manhole has a lip and the concrete pours over to that lip. So the actual, when you try and pull the lid off, the piece that it sits in doesn't come up with it. So you can't now use those because they've already been made, unless we cut them right out and start again. So we've obviously got this one over here, which is quite big. We've got this one over here, which is to the well, wherever it is. There it is. And around the front, we've got about 4 or 5. Over here, we've got another 2. And we've got another one over here and another one around the side. They're all different sizes, but again, because of COVID and because of me looking for plastic or fiberglass, there's hardly any sizes available. So if anybody knows anywhere on the island where I can get fiberglass or plastic, industrial plastic manhole covers, please let me know. I've been to Fiberpole. I've heard that Williams might do them, so anyone who can give me any heads up or any contacts or any numbers, please let me know. The biggest problem I've got at the moment, apart from the sizes being weird, is that the concrete heads have already been poured, and I'm under the impression once they've been poured, you can't use most manholes anyway. So what's the solution? Is it to cut the whole tops off and start again? Is it to cut the holes bigger and sink something in and re-concrete over the top? Is it to make our own concrete tops themselves, which I think are going to look ugly? Yeah, hit me downstairs. Hit me in the comments below and let me know what you think. I'm sure some of you have already experienced it. If you're building, you're already going through the pain as well. But I said to the guys today, I'm the only person on this job that should be learning. I'm not from this country. I'm not even from the construction background. So they should be educating me on how it works here. I'm coming in with all these spec sheets saying that's what's available and these are the problems we now have. And they're like, okay. I'm like, you guys should know this. You know, they do know it, you know, but they've got to learn. So you've got to take this information on to the next job and make sure that you add value to the next person on the next job if it's not me. That's how it works. I'm employing you for your knowledge and your experience. I shouldn't be actually, to a certain extent, I shouldn't be able to provide information and experience to you when I'm new here and I'm learning. But anyway, from my point of view, it's not rocket science. You just go to the company that provides the manhole covers. They tell you the standard specs. They tell you the materials. And you, at the very beginning of the job, say, do you want metal? Do you want to make them out of concrete? Or do you want fiberglass stroke plastic? If so, these are the 3, 4, 5 sizes you've got. We suggest that you do da-da-da-da-da-da. But, you know, even to a certain extent, they think that the size of the manhole dictates the size of the cover. That's not the case at all. It doesn't make any difference if it's a 35 foot by 35 foot hole. You can still have a 600 by 600 manhole if that's what you want. So, you know, from my point of view, if you know that 450 by 450 or 600 by 600 is the most common size, then number one, make every single manhole that size, but also buy the actual manhole and the manhole cover and install it before you pour the concrete. And then take the manhole cover out, put it somewhere safe with all the actual screws and fixings. Try and put a bit of plywood over it like it is now, and then as soon as you're ready and everything's finished, take this crap off and stick the nice lid in there with all the fixtures and fittings. That's what I would do. But instead I'm now stuck with 14 bloody manholes, and potentially now going to be looking at some man-made concrete crap that's going to look awful. So yeah, not best pleased, but yeah, I get another learning curve. Every day I'm learning. So Adam, Neil, there's people out there at the moment that are connecting with me that are actually building on there at the moment. You're not at these manhole stages. So now's the time to be thinking about the manhole stages and what sizes you're going to go in for, what material you're going to get and what's available, and you need to start looking at them. Otherwise you're going to have something ugly like that in a driveway that you might not be able to put something. I mean, you can't get a pretty manhole cover, I appreciate that, but a prettier manhole versus a shit one. So yeah, Adam and Neil, reach out to me if you want to discuss it and I'll tell you what's on there and where to get the specs from. But from my point of view, yeah, that's another issue we've got. The other issue we've got is at the moment is the info that I've been relying on to get the jacks have told me today they're struggling a little bit. So tomorrow I'm going to have to make some phone calls, see if I can get them from Williams. One of the issues we've had with having 12-foot ceilings, beautiful having 12-foot ceilings, but things like jacks, you can't just hire a standard jack for a 12-foot ceiling. You have to order the 8 to 13-foot ones. And they're not very popular, which means that when they're needed, they're out and they don't have a lot of spare. So we managed to get 20 the other day. I was told we were only going to need 20, and now they want another 20. So again, how many jacks do you need for a room of this size? If it's going to be 35 by 35, how many jacks do you need? If it's one every cubic bloody foot or meter, then that will tell you how many jacks you need. I was told 20, so I ordered 20. If I was told 40, I would order 40, and the time I ordered 40, they had 40. So again, another painful exercise, and also could hold us up. If we can't get the jacks, we're not pouring. So that's how serious it is. So from my point of view, tomorrow my main aim is to be ringing around everybody. I've just tried to ring Williams at 4:31, 4:32, and obviously they shut and they put you on hold, and then I'm like, I've gone on Google quickly and I've seen they shut at 4:30, so we're not going to be getting through to them tonight. So first thing in the morning, that's my thing to do. And then I've also got to try and see if they can deliver them there and then as well, which is also going to be a next challenge. Other than that, please like and subscribe. please help me raise the awareness as I'm doing now. I'm trying to give you guys information about what to do and what not to do. I'm also trying to help educate, obviously, so I don't have the same problems I have. And also I'm doing it because I want you guys to tell me if there's anything I can do different, if there's places I can go or things I should consider. I'm more than happy to take some information. You guys have been pretty good in the last week or two. There's been some good information coming through and I really do appreciate it. So yeah, let me know, contact me, put the comments in below, and help me share the channel to try and get the subscribers up. I think the last time I looked it was at 518, I think we're at. So I haven't looked at what we're at today. So fingers crossed we can try and get past the 600 mark in the next couple of weeks and start cruising towards 1,000. That'd be bloody good. And then hopefully I'll be able to add a lot more value. And I think I am going to put some time and effort into some form of island, check a supplier, check a contractor, rate a contractor, whatever you want to call it. I want to come up with some form of system that enables people to know who's good, who's bad, who to avoid, what supplier's good, what they stock, how to get hold of them. I want to try and come up with something where I can provide that information. So I've heard that there's a few people that built on the island that would be very interested in potentially seeing something like that, or even potentially joining it. So if anybody's got any information or any passion for it, let me know. I definitely think I'm going to do it. Something for me that should be quite straightforward because it's something it's very similar to something I do in the UK. So, but anyway, let me leave you to it. It's Friday. It's 10 to 5. I'm going to go crack open a couple of beers, quite a few in all fairness, and I will see you bright and breezy tomorrow morning. Take care.